Hi everyone, Sean McInnes from the Talent Management team. Today we're going to talk about mindfulness and what it actually is. You may have heard about mindfulness from one of my workshops, or you may have read about it in a book or a magazine, or even heard a celebrity talk about it, because it's been a pretty trendy topic the last few years. In fact, you may even think of mindfulness as looking a little bit like this. There's a lot of breathing and meditation involved in mindfulness for sure, but I'm not going to do that today because number one, I don't know how, and number two, even if I could, I wouldn't want to do it in front of coworkers because I'd embarrass myself. But I do have a simple exercise we'll do here in a few minutes that I can show you that's a little bit easier and certainly more discreet and something you can do privately. What is mindfulness? I define it in the simplest terms as paying attention to paying attention. And that's really important because if you've been to one of my workshops in the past where I've talked about mindful business practices, you'll know that mindful businesses tend to perform better. So just as mindful businesses perform better, so mindful people perform better too. And by perform, I just mean that they are generally happier, more relaxed, and more productive. And I think those are all traits we could use right about now. So it's paying attention to paying attention. And it's very hard to train your brain to do that, but it doesn't take too long though once you actually actively start thinking about that, because our brains are wired to be autopilots all the time. Take a look at a few of these items here and I'll show you what I mean. I have a newspaper, I pick it up each morning and I read it. I don't really think much of it. On my golf clubs, I hit the ball usually and keep playing. And a coffee mug, fill it with coffee, take a drink, and get on with my day. But, and this is our first exercise, what if you actively stopped and looked at those objects differently? You stopped and asked yourself, what do these objects mean to me? And what kind of feelings do they bring? Now, this is a really weird and strange, maybe even a little squishy exercise at first, but after you do it a few times, you'll understand how it helps you train your brain to pay attention to paying attention. So for instance, with this coffee mug here, when I look at it and I'm actively thinking about it, it suddenly becomes more than just a mug. The mug came from a place out west when we had a great family vacation. It gives me a lot of joy to remember that vacation. I think about the coffee inside, think about the energy and motivation it's going to give me for my day. And I also think about the context in which I have coffee, which is really the best part of my day, and that's breakfast with my family. So I would encourage you to pick an item. You don't have to do this all the time. In fact, I don't want you to go around picking items every time you see something and start thinking about it actively. Just put a reminder on your phone to look at one or two things each day. And you'll find that if you actively think about it, you stop and you pay attention to paying attention about it, suddenly you'll see these things in a different light. And ultimately what we want to do is go from looking at objects to things that are way more important, which are people. And we want to use mindfulness to understand our relationships with our family, friends, and coworkers. And we'll talk about that the next time we're together. But for now, this is our Mindful Minute, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.